I have the honor of having the guys from Halogens joining me here on Beyond the Static for a little Q&A. So welcome, guys. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Well, it's normal housekeeping stuff. You guys want to start with introducing yourselves and what you all do for the band and where you all come from?
Let's do it in height order, shortest to tallest.
Okay. Hello, I am George. I am the shortest, and I play drums. And did you say where we come from?
Where do you hail from?
A little bit about the band or whatever.
I'm from Wall, New Jersey, and I am also the certified band dad. That is my role.
I guess I'll be next. I think I'm the second shortest, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're pretty close, Charlie. I don't know.
All right, my name
Second shortest or third tallest, half full or half empty.
Yeah, I like that. Third tallest, Charlie Throckmorton. I play guitar in the band. I'm from Wall, same as George and Zach. Well, not really Zach, but yeah.
I'm a hybrid.
Oh, hey, I'm Kyle Donovan. I'm from Linden, New Jersey. I'm the bassist in the band. I've only been in the band for, 2 years now? But, yeah, I'm the resident new guy. So, what's up?
Right.
My name is Zach, and I sing for the band. And I'm also from Wall. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So why don't we start out? Tell me a little bit about Halogens, how you guys got started, and how we got from the early point to where we are now.
Who wants to take it?
I'll take
Not
it.
me.
Okay. Basically, so this question we had asked a lot, and we've repeated the same story a bunch of times, so I'm just going to hit highlights and do it.
Okay.
A good synopsis. George, Charlie, and I were good friends in high school. Also, our friend Tim, who was our original bassist. We started playing music together, and it was awesome. And then we kept doing it, and it was awesome. Tim had to go to Rhode Island, which was not awesome. But now Kyle's in the band, so it's awesome again. And that's about it.
Good summary.
Yeah. And that happened over the course of the last 9 years. So
yeah,
that's the story.
That was a fantastic highlight reel.
No, I hit all the major points. And you might think that I'm leaving stuff out, but I'm really not. That's pretty much it.
All awesome. Except Tim leaving. Then we got Kyle, so now it's awesome again.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I figured you guys been asked that a lot. I literally have this question labeled housekeeping because like normal things that people who might not know about you, might want to know. I was doing some reading up about you all. I saw you in like 4 different interviews. I saw somebody mention the front bottoms and tiny moving parts. Yeah. I don't know. It just seemed a little bit like you guys were getting like a little bit over that comparison.
No, they're like
not in the bad way.
Yeah, no, they're like one of our favorite bands forever. It's just funny. I just think it's funny, like when people say that. And I don't know. It doesn't really annoy me, but we do.
Didn't you just recently hear that from somebody of like significance not too long ago?
Yeah, we played a show, or I played like a solo show in Asbury, and afterwards the bartender was like, "You sound a lot like my fiance and his band." And then I asked who they were, and she said it was Brian Sella, which was pretty cool.
Oh, that's nice. I actually saw them last summer, I think, with it was the weirdest thing. They were playing with Manchester Orchestra, which it's like that doesn't fit at all. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, I didn't get it, but I guess I get it. But are there any really odd comparisons that you guys have gotten that have just been like out of left field?
That's a good question.
When people started saying tiny moving parts, I didn't really get it because that was like before. That was when
I definitely don't get. Yeah.
That was like before they got a little bit more like rock, like poppy oriented, and when they were like really like yelly, like mathy. But then somebody pointed out to me it's like the sad in the key of happy thing. And like, I guess that kind of made more sense that it's like pretty depressing, like lyrical content, like in a happy sounding way. So like that comparison made a little bit more sense, but they're obviously a way more skilled band than we are. So that was always a little strange.
Yeah, like people compare a lot of my lyrical stylings to like the greats like Pac, Biggie, Big Pun, like that kind of stuff. We get that comparison a lot.
All the time.
Oh yeah, I totally get that. Absolutely.
Mhm.
I mean, I get compared to them all the time as well. I did like something that I read in one of your interviews. It said that you like you alluded to like your influences evolving some over time. Which is obvious. So do you want to talk a little bit about that and like where do you think I mean, do you have any ideas or any thoughts about like where your next group of songs is going to come from and like what people might hear coming through in that?
Yeah. Well, I think I said this in a recent thing also, but pretty much a month after I started playing guitar, we started Halogens. So like every release, I'm learning to play more, and we're all just like getting better with every release. And we start listening to new music, and it's new inspiration. So I just think every album that we put out sounds a little more mature than the previous one, in terms of like the music. And then I kind of lost the end of that. I had steam going in the beginning, and then I kind of trailed off. But that was my point, pretty much. Sorry, interviews aren't my strong suit.
Oh, we got some backup for you, so it's all good. It'll come out fine.
Great, yeah.
To elaborate on that, I do think that like especially for like the record we've been writing recently, it's been a very like collaborative effort, like with all of us like contributing some aspects of the writing. Like Zach is definitely still the main songwriter in the band, but I know just from like a personal perspective, like some of like my tastes have like changed. Like I've really gotten into like pop music, like Harry Styles and like Taylor Swift and Halsey are like go-to right now. And like I don't know if that's necessarily like reflected in like how the songs sound or the writing or anything, but like when I'm thinking of a structure, I think it's definitely become like a little bit more pop oriented or pop structured with the more recent album. I don't know if that really shows in the songs, but that's at least where it's coming from in my mind when we're writing. Does anyone else feel that way?
I think you just articulated the thoughts that I was having way better than I could. So thank you.
That's what I'm here for.
Yeah. Yeah. That and the beats.
Yep.
I would. So
Got away with words, Zach. It's great.
Thank you.
mentioned
And beats.
yeah. You mentioned you're working on a new album, so that actually was going to ask about the Carcinogens demo that we talked about, which is why I reached out to you guys. That's on the Brace Cove Records Quarantine compilation.
Yes.
I was going to ask you if that demo did imply new music coming soon. And I know the album's been out for about a year now, a little over a year.
Yeah, just about. We go into the studio on June 1st, and we'll finish by June 7th, and we're gonna put out going for 10 songs on the album. Carcinogens, we're gonna do a refined version of it in the studio, but that'll be one of the 10 for sure.
The way that came about is basically that like we've been tracking demos like as we've been writing to just be prepared for when we go into the studio, and basically like that demo came out like way better than we were expecting it to. And I happened to find that like Brace Cove was like doing this compilation, and I was like, oh, this would literally be like perfect to just see like what the response is to this kind of like new direction that like, we tried for that song. Like we're definitely not going like full electronic for the new record, but we thought it would be fun to, dive in for like one song. And I'm super stoked about how it sounds. And like I play drums and I don't even play on it, but just like getting to do like the beep beep boops is like super fun and different for me. And And yeah, the reception's been like really nice. I'm like super proud of how that demo came out, and I'm like, I hope that we can make like the album version like live up to the demo. That's something I've been a little nervous about, but I think we'll be good.
Yeah, big shout outs to our buddy Justin, aka Staten, for mixing and mastering that demo.
Yes, thank you, Justin.
Sounds very good.
Is
Thank
that
you,
who
Justin,
you
aka
guys?
Staten.
Is that who you guys did the split with?
Yes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
He's an
Yeah,
old friend of mine
okay.
from high school, actually.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
For a while.
Yeah. We have like a 2-step process in recording these demos that we record with our friend Brian from Grin and Bear. He has like a basement set up, and then we send them over to Justin, and he mixes and masters them, and they sound, in my opinion, very good for demos. And it's been a really big help with like writing and like really figuring out like what we want to keep and what we want to change with the songs before we go into the studio. So like we've essentially, by the time we finish recording in the studio, we'll have recorded the album twice, just in like different settings, which we've never done before, but it's been really helpful for figuring out how to refine the songs and like make them the best that we feel they can be.
And I like getting input from as many people as possible. I think that's a fun part of the creative process, is just hearing from different people on the outside thinking, hey, what about this? What about that? I think that's a fun bit.
It's been really cool to kind of like develop this like outer circle of like friends that we really trust that like can provide some input into what we're doing, where it's like the circle of the band is like extending like a little bit beyond like who's like immediately in it, which I think is like so cool, because like, you know, like Zach was saying, we've been playing together for quite a long time, and it gets easy to
We're looking for an open band, you know?
what?
An open band.
An open band.
Yes.
Lots of multiple partners in and out.
Just kidding. We're a very we're a very
Very monogamous.
tight band, yeah.
How 2020 of you. Wow. Okay. Well, since you brought up Staten, I was gonna ask a little later, but since we're here, I was kind of curious. Like, it's I don't often get a chance to ask bands this, but what would you say is like a major difference between putting out an album that's just your own and putting out a split? Like, how are the logistics of that different, or are they at all?
So that was the only split we've put out, and the logistics of so the first thing of figuring out how to put out a split online for the first time is real confusing. With like we have like Staten songs like still popping up on our Spotify plays. There was a period in time where like the song Kelly from that split that Staten did was getting like a pretty good amount of Spotify traction, and like our songs were getting nothing. And I remember checking our Spotify, and the highest amount of plays like by far on our page was Kelly by Staten, which was like kind of a blow.
Bit of a bummer.
Yeah,
we deserved it. No, we were being cocky. We deserved it.
Obviously happy for Justin. But yeah, just like figuring out like the logistics of like how everything gets posted. Like luckily we know Justin, and like we ended up just like making it free and pay what you want. So we were just like, okay, if somebody pays on your page, you keep it. If somebody pays on our page, we'll keep it. But like I can kind of see why bigger bands do splits less, because like unless you have some formal agreement of like figuring out how to split the profits, it gets very, very confusing. On the plus side, Justin recorded those songs that we put on the split like at his house. So like he was kind of developing his side of the split like as we were writing. And then I remember he like sent me 3 songs and was like, oh, it would be sick to like put these all out like, you know, together. So I'm pretty sure his part was done like way before ours was. And then we went over to his house, like recorded our 3 songs, and it was just cool to kind of see everything like come together as like a 100% like in-house project of like just like the 5 of us working on it.
That's where the slide and buckle came from.
Was that Justin?
Wow.
Yeah,
There was someone in that room. Yeah,
I was
that's where
there
it
for
came
that
from.
when the slide first.
You
came
were there
out.
for that.
Yeah.
I was using a lighter at first. That's
Yep.
what it came
Yeah,
from.
it was me and Charlie at Justin's house, and I think Charlie used his lighter.
Yeah, that was fun.
Nice. I actually I really like that song Buckle. It stood out to me a lot on a personal level. Just wanted to throw that out there. Just like it kind of like struck me a lot with like my family life and things that I'd gone through with my own father. Like that was one of the songs that really hit me. I don't know. I don't want to get too personal into your life, but I just wanted to let you know that. I just wanted to let you know that that one got me in the heart.
Thank you.
So let's get back to the Brace Cove. I was just curious. Are there any? Obviously, like this one's going out. Trying to do a little COVID relief.
Yeah.
Help out with that and. I looked into like the Keystone things that they were. I don't remember the exact name of the organization, but it looks like they do some really good work.
Yeah, it's the Keystone Community Center in Minnesota.
Yeah, it looks like
George,
they do a lot of good work with like.
You're so on the ball all the time, George.
Thanks. I know
Always
stuff.
pay
Well,
attention.
like one thing, quick like personal plug is that like I'm a social worker, and I think the like intersection of like community support and music is very important. And like I've seen that like as the time of our band's gone on, and like that kind of has like more incorporated like into the scene. I think it's really important to like do what we can to raise funds for people that are in need, like especially like now, the entire world is in crisis, and like if we have this song that like we can throw in a comp that like somebody will pay a few bucks for a tape and like that'll go to this organization, like why shouldn't we do that? So like I really like seeking out opportunities like that, and like I saw that Brace Cove was like looking for bands. I've known the label for a while. I think they're like a cool label that has cool bands, and I was like, oh sick, like this is awesome. So yeah, it worked out really well. But anyway, that is my quick plug. Sorry.
Oh, it's good, great. Kind of leads me into my what is my next question is were there any other causes that you guys are actively involved in or that you really believe in and that you do a lot to further the name or awareness of?
Charles, you got anything you want to say?
I guess I can say something. I work at a medical marijuana dispensary, and it's awesome to see how it helps so many people. And it's a natural plant that's good for you and gets people off prescription meds and stuff like that. And hopefully one day pot will be legalized everywhere too. So I guess I'm in the fight for that.
The front lines.
Fair enough.
Yeah, really, Charlie's a frontline worker right now.
Fact, yo.
He's an essential worker. It's true.
It's essential, but
Yeah.
it's not legal everywhere, so it's kind of funny,
It's weird how that works, huh?
right?
Yeah, it's funny. I was actually having a conversation with a friend of mine the other day about marijuana and how we kind of like wish that when we were younger things like CBD were around, where it's like get a lot of the benefits without that like that spacey feeling.
Exactly.
Yeah, another option instead of just another prescription, right?
Yeah, the CBD
Yeah.
stuff is great. No intoxication. CBD strains are amazing.
Yeah, and my little personal note about myself. I'm in recovery myself, so like something like that without an intoxicant like would be like that's that's something I can't mess with. But like I love that it's finally at the point where it's becoming recognized for being what it is and helpful in the ways that it is helpful.
Me too. Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit more about the album. I saw like you said, it's been out for a little over a year. I saw you guys did a tour or two behind it.
Yeah, we did We did like a few. We try to pick up like weekenders like here and there, just like 2-3 shows on the weekends, like as much as we can. So trying to think of what we've done since Happy Hour came out. We definitely did. We did a weekender with Keep Flying In With the Punches over the summer. We did like a week and a half with No Dice from Ohio in the fall. And I feel like we probably played another couple weekenders that were like attached to that, but right now it's slipping my mind. Does anybody happen to remember?
No, but I feel like we definitely played a show or two.
We did it with Table Talk. We did weekend with Table Talk.
I think, wasn't that before it came out?
I think, yeah, that was before.
No, because was it?
Yeah, that was when you were filling in.
Oh, that's true.
And then you played the release show.
Yeah.
I think it's very funny to go right from talking about being pro weed to not being able to remember anything.
That's how you use the
Well
weedy
played.
stuff, man.
Well played.
Yeah, that's where it comes in.
the main like run that we did to support it was the one with No Dice this fall.
I think.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, no,
You're just living the moment, dude. I got no time for the past.
we were trying to do a little bit longer of a run, a little bit closer to when it came out, and just life happens, and we weren't really able to. But we try to play, obviously not like now, but when we're in like full, not writing, like playing shows mode, like we're usually down to like play out of state like as much as possible, like Friday, Saturday night, like drive to Pennsylvania instead of playing in New Jersey for like the 1,000th time. Like, yeah, why not? So we definitely did like a few of those. But yeah, I think work and life definitely came a little bit in the way of like being able to tour fully in support of Happy Hour. Hopefully more for this new album, but I guess it depends on the state of the world when that comes out.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it sounds like you guys have played a lot. Regardless, I mean, I looked on like your Facebook and some of your past shows. It looks like you guys had a lot going on. Do you have any like favorite bands to play with, or like any that you've had a particularly good time? Some like
Grin and
fun
Bear.
tour stories
So
or
many.
anything?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who wants to start?
Grin
Man
and
dance.
Bear, there's Man Dancing.
Yeah, 1, 2.
Sentient
Table
Moss.
Talk was great. Sentient Moss is amazing. Karina, when they were a band that existed, was very fun to tour with.
It's Kyle's old band.
Yeah, that's my old band.
Oh.
The band I was in when that was it was Karina and Halogens' first actual tour. We went on tour together. When was that? That was back in 2016.
16.
No,
16, I
16.
think. Yeah.
16?
Right
Yeah,
after I graduated college.
we did an East Coast
We
tour.
left on my birthday.
Yeah, we went from Montclair to Orlando and back up over 9 days, and it was a wonderful experience for everybody. And then I was in the band a few years later. Crazy. So my first 2 actual tours were both with Halogens. Just one time I was not in the band.
Funny how that works.
Yeah.
So I gotta ask, being like, I'm a Jersey native myself, and
Jersey.
yeah, hell yeah. Being in that like North Jersey like punk emo rock scene, like, and like all like the history that comes, all the bands that came out of there from back in the day until more recently, like you're from that early 2000s emo era. Do you ever get this feeling that like, does it ever like kind of like dawn on you that you're part of like something like huge, like that is like you're contributing your little piece to something with great magnitude?
For sure, not as an individual so much, but more of like a cog in the machine, but in a good way. Just in that, like, the more bands that are active and the more shows that happen, the more the scene is kept alive, and the more that this gets to happen for people, all the time. So
I think that being in New Jersey gives us kind of a unique perspective of things because there's just like so much local music happening all the time. Like personally, I'm 26. I've been playing in local bands since I was like 16. And like that's seems to be a lot. And like some of the first shows I played were like the Crossroads in Garwood, New Jersey, which is like to some people like kind of a cool place to play, but to me that was just a bar up the street. You know, like it's I
I
feel
feel
like
like it
there's so
jades
much
you.
going on in New Jersey that like
Jaded.
it's hard to be like, oh, I'm part of something great. But then you know when we go out to like Wisconsin or something, and like their music scene is so much more tight knit, like everyone knows everybody, and I feel like it's a completely different perspective being somewhere with a much more concentrated music scene as opposed to a more spread out kind of deal.
You could say smaller. Say smaller.
I don't want to say
New
smaller.
Jersey's big, dude. We're number one. We're the best.
Most
That's
densely
that,
populated state in the country, right? And is that still true?
I
I
think
don't
so.
know. I don't know a lot about New Jersey, but I do know that I love it.
It's I guess there are those obvious pros and cons of having such an expansive scene. Like I don't want to say it gets diluted, but like I don't know if there's a better word.
I can definitely say
No.
that. Yeah, I would say it gets diluted for sure.
Yeah, in a way. It just I feel like that's anywhere that there's oh, my leg is starting to cramp up. I'm sorry. I feel like that's anywhere that there's a music scene, you know. Bands are there's always gonna be a million bands where there is a scene. So
It's true.
I don't know if it's just because of the place that we live in.
I just can't wait for the first show back when it's going to be like, oh yeah, like you know when you go to like a really good show and you're like, this is so cool that like I'm here in this like nasty basement, like getting to watch this like sick concert. Like it's gonna be.
As sarcastic as that sounds, yes, I do. I
It's
know that
not
feeling
sarcastic
very
at
well.
all. Like I
know.
legitimately mean
Yeah.
that. Like I'm so
Uh-huh.
happy that somebody spilled their entire beer on my shoes. Like
Yeah.
Because
know,
I'm
like-
sweating and now my feet are cool.
yeah, like that first beer spill is gonna be so refreshing, and like I can't wait for it because that shit is like what hits you, and you're like, oh, like this is really cool that like I get to be a part of this. I feel like it's very like I mean we've seen some pretty cool basement / like DIY spots from like being able to tour, but like there's nothing like a New Brunswick basement show or like a place like a show at the brewery in Asbury where it's just like, you know, the night's right. It's all,
The night
all
is
feeling
right.
good. Like
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. New Brunswick basement shows, yo. That's where it
The
was
best.
I
at.
missed that.
Shout
we're
out
supposed to have one in July. We'll see if it happens.
that would be sick.
Yeah.
It seems
Shout
like
out to all the
all
people
over.
that host basement shows.
It's
Mhm.
nice to hear that that's still a thriving scene up there. Like I personally haven't been to New Brunswick more than a few times. I'm from South Jersey, so I didn't make it up there that much. But it seems like all of my favorite bands have come through that New Brunswick basement circuit. You know, like
The
your
hub.
Thursdays and your brand news
Hub
of the
City.
world.
It's hard to miss.
Hub City.
Yeah, I'm so jealous that I never got to like experience that either as a fan or as a musician.
Do you have a project that you play in?
Yeah.
I was in a band though. About we stopped playing about 10 years ago.
Yeah, so you can plug the
Yeah, hit him with the
Yeah.
Bandcamp link. What are we looking at?
I won't plug them, but I will plug bands that came out of that band. Dry Jacket and Sleep In.
Oh shit.
Oh, okay. Cool.
I know Dry Jacket, yeah.
Yeah, I was in a band with guys from with one of the guys from Dry Jacket and a couple of the guys from Sleep In. So I'll plug them all day. Like they're my homies.
Yeah.
I love them dudes to death.
That's awesome.
But yeah. Back to you guys. You're
Right.
the important
See, that's my
ones.
problem, dude. I don't like talking about me, so I always deflect.
You're in the wrong
Yeah.
place, Zach.
I know. We gotta do it.
So you were talking about doing shows when you come back. Like I honestly, like I can't wait for that. It looks like you guys already have a sold out show in July. Did I read that correctly?
Yeah, so we're doing we were supposed to play was it today originally?
No,
What
it
was
was
the
like
original date?
Last
April
March 27th.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
March
that
like
was right.
27th, 28th, something like that.
Yeah, we were supposed to play Hodera's upcoming album release show at the Asbury Park Brewery, and that sold out. But obviously, it was rescheduled to July
17th.
17th. Always on the ball, George. July 17th. So, assuming that everyone still wants to have a lot of fun in July, then yes, it'll be sold out.
We're assuming we're allowed to have all kinds of fun in July.
Yeah, for
I know
real.
that people will want to have fun. It's if we're allowed to or not.
Dude, I think a lot of people are mad that they have to stay inside. But if it gets to our show getting canceled again, people will riot.
Yeah.
I don't think this country could take a second Halogen show getting canceled.
I don't think so either. I mean,
No,
I
that's
worry for
that's
state
the
of
straw that
union.
broke the camel.
What
Sorry.
when are you guys having any plans on coming down to Philly again soon? After you
We were supposed to play there this past Friday. I'm pretty bummed. But yeah, definitely. We really like playing in Philly. We've played in Philly like a lot since like we started playing shows like out of state. But yeah, we were supposed to play at Cafe Lorraine, and it had to be canceled. But we're trying to reschedule for that house venue once things settle a little bit. So we would definitely like to. We've been trying to come back for a bit now. We also want to play at the Greenbrier House in Galloway.
On the ball, George. Yeah, there it is.
Galloway.
There it is. I
Yeah,
knew you would
Greenbrier
know
was a
that.
ton of fun.
Where in South Jersey do you live, Dwayne?
I live in South Philly right now.
Oh, okay.
But I'm from Woodbury.
Okay.
Yeah, and I saw you guys played at Rowan, right?
Yeah. Kyle went to Rowan.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went to Rowan. I'm living in Lindenwold, like Voorhees area right now. So
Okay. Yeah.
right across the bridge.
Yeah, so you know Woodbury then, I'm
Oh
sure.
yeah, when we
you're
played
right.
in Oakland at Ovations, that was
Okay.
right up the street
Yeah.
from my house. Yeah.
The was it Joe Franks that put that show on? Guy named Joe, maybe?
It was Cloverdale's album release show. I'm not really sure who booked it, but it was like all of like the South Jersey like homie bands plus like us and Gatherers at that show.
2019, homie Sean McCall. What's up? That's
Yo. So
my boy.
Sean McCall is my dude. I used to play shows with that kid when he was like 13 years old.
the old breaking tradition. Yeah, is that?
It was
Probably before that.
Yeah,
it was
probably.
before they were breaking tradition. They were a band called A Taste of Change, and like so me and my bandmates were all in our mid-20s, and like we see this band come out and we're like, oh, okay, like, and then they start playing and we're like, oh, okay. So like, yeah, they became our little homies. Like their parents were all out there and like everything. And it's like it was great, and like, yeah, it was so much fun. But yeah, dude, I fucking love Sean. Like every time I see him, like
Certified good guy.
I went to Rome with Sean, and he was in the like the music industry major for the class, and he had to record a song. So me, him, and a buddy of ours, we recorded an instrumental track under the name Dank Sinatra.
That's awesome.
And I'm sure that he still has that somewhere. So next time I see him, I'll see if I can grill him for an MP3 file.
So it's amazing that there are so many music business programs now, because my original, when I first went to school, there were only 2 in the state of New Jersey. I think there was Ramapo and Monmouth. And I went to Monmouth, and I went to Monmouth. I didn't end up graduating from there, but like that was my original.
Dude, I went to Ramapo and didn't graduate from there.
Nice.
Actually, yeah. Nice. Boom.
I went to Ramapo for music business. I did graduate from there, but not for music business.
I went to Rutgers, and they added the music business and music technology classes like my last year I was there.
That's
Sick.
exactly what happened at Rowan with
And
me.
that's how I learned how to do our Spotify stuff. So I
Nice.
learned something out of it.
Shout
you
out
for
to
that, Charlie.
Thanks for teaching us how to be a band. That's
Yeah, I would have definitely went to Rowan if they had that there. I used
Yeah.
to play basement shows at in Rowan, like around there on like High Street or whatever.
oh hell yeah! I played on High Street many a time. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a fun time. But yeah. There we go, living in the past again. It got me
I love
reminiscing about the
I
old
know,
days,
dude.
guys.
It's the way.
Because the present ain't nothing to write home about, ain't that right, boys? Hey,
Hey,
Yeah.
hey, speak for
Oh.
yourself, bro. I'm thriving every day.
Zach, you got AirPods?
I did. They were a gift.
Nice. Were they really though?
Yeah, swear to God.
you haven't noticed him
I would
like
never.
totally turning his head.
I've noticed. I was just waiting for the right moment to say it. It's also noticeable because he's so much louder than all of us.
Oh, am I? Oh no.
No, it's not a bad thing. It's just like if somebody wants to like say something and like you want to say something, like we're gonna hear what you want to say.
Oh no. Okay, well that's
Cool.
good.
It's you're the singer, so like it's all good,
Well,
dude.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
And people say I'm also soft spoken, so that's good to be louder.
I can hear that. Crap, lost my train of thought. Is this like so now? Is this how you guys like practice and write now? Like, do you do the Zoom thing or?
We tried once, and then we ended up just playing games on House Party, and we didn't really practice at all. So we've just kind of been doing our parts like.
I mean, like typically
individually.
Zach will come up with something and he'll like record a little voice memo and send it to all of us, and like then we'll just work on our own parts for it. I feel like this video conferencing stuff can be tough because everyone's internet connections are different and there are lags here and there, people cutting out.
Everyone's more like someone's.
Yeah, more like Zach's.
Oh well, I mean, I'm
is
not
it?
trying to call out Zach.
Not right now.
Is mine still?
Yeah.
Oh,
No,
tonight
now it's
has
fine.
it?
But like when we try to do House Party, like it's not
yeah,
working,
that was
dude.
bad.
In general,
Yeah,
you're
Getting kicked out of our trivia games like left and right.
I know.
No, but like
Trust me,
what
I was frustrated too. I didn't like it.
we have a couple songs. So we've demoed 7 of the 10 songs that we're recording with Brian Perino and Justin Fernandez like before the pandemic happened. So we still have like 3 that we've been working on that we would like to get demoed before we go into the studio. So what we've been doing is that Zach sent a voice memo thing that like I put into GarageBand and recorded like the MIDI keyboard drums over. And then right now I've been trying to find a good time because I'm working from home, which seems to really just be like working from, when I wake up to when I go to sleep because there's no boundaries anymore. But I'm going to have some time next week to hopefully set up some mics and I'm going to try to record drums in my place. I don't know how good that's going to come out. So if it doesn't, my backup plan is to record to like a grid in GarageBand and then send to everybody for them to record their parts remotely so we can have like somewhat of a higher quality demo before we go into the studio. And that's really how we've been like writing, is kind of just like figuring stuff out on our own. And then we're like, okay, like hopefully we can see each other before the first day of recording. And we're waiting for Governor Murphy's announcement on, when is it, the 1st or the 15th? So
I think
we'll
we're
see.
until the 15th, right?
I think it's the 15th.
My hopes aren't up.
Yeah, we're probably we're probably going to see each other for the first time in like 2.5 months, like on the first day of recording.
It'd be an interesting experiment.
Yeah, it might be kind of cool. Like
Typically our best shows are after we don't practice at all. So, I mean, I feel like if we're going by that logic.
I say we just keep it going and none of us show up at the studio at the same time. We'll go in individually and film our own parts. And then none of us will hear the album in its entirety until it's already done. It'll be a surprise for all of us.
It could be fun.
No, it couldn't. Don't agree with me.
We'll see. But yeah, like fingers crossed that like we can practice in person before we go in. But if not, it will be kind of interesting to see how these like last 3 songs pan out with like, they'll be planned before we go in, but they'll really like the majority of the writing will be done like in studio, which we've never done before. So it shall be interesting.
I can't wait to hear it.
Thanks. I am excited about where the songs are like how they're coming out like so far. And like we have like one that I would say is closer to being done than not, and then another that's like halfway in the middle point. So like we're almost ready, and we still got about a month and 8 days to go.
Oh, word.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's plenty of time to get it together.
Hopefully.
Well, I saw you guys did do a live stream recently, didn't you? Did I see?
Done a
did I
few.
read that correctly?
Yeah. There's
Okay.
been like 3, I think, since the start.
3.
Yeah.
There has.
Do you have any more coming up that you think the world should know about?
I don't think so, but if there's an overwhelming demand for it, then I'll give the people what they want. But so there's a lot of people doing streams right now, so I don't want to do too many or just overdo it. But,
We hit the market a little hard when the whole streaming
yeah,
thing
it came
happened.
out running. Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
Gotcha.
we've done like
Hindsight.
3. No, it's
Yeah,
chill.
we did the live stream shows before. It was really cool. I don't know if you noticed it, but like after we did
We
them,
actually live streamed
everybody
in
else started doing
January.
it way more. So
But yeah, no, I think it was like what was it? You did the one with Grin and Bear and Sentient Moss. Like as soon as it became apparent, like, oh, like this is real. Zach and our friends Connor from Sentient Moss and Brian from Grin and Bear were like, yeah, like let's do this live stream. And that was like before like social distancing was a thing. So like they all did it together, like on the couch.
Days.
Yeah, I was like, oh, that's so cool. Like they were like harmonizing with like each other's songs and stuff. But yeah, now it's like the real like solo live streams. So we'll see. They're cool though. It's nice to have like something right now.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. So one more thing I wanted to so I see you guys so it says you're unsigned, right? You guys are unsigned, correct?
Yes.
But you're also
Unsigned and unleashed.
also affiliated with the Mayflower Collective, which is that a label or like what's that all about, and like how does that working? Like what's your
It's like
but they're still
tight-knit
active.
DIY publicity collective.
Yeah, it's like a formal
our
collection of friends
Yeah.
like promoting each other's bands. It's not a label.
okay?
But yeah, it's America Part 2, Have a Good Season, My Heart, My Anchor.
Some alumni.
We'll give the
recently
shout to the
part of-
big
yeah,
names
the
like
big
Save Face,
names.
A Will Away, Head
Yeah,
North.
bring it in. Mhm.
But yeah,
Get that
it's it's been a little quiet recently. Everyone from Mayflower's got their own stuff going on. But yes, to summarize, it's a publicity / like DIY entertainment group that's more or less a collective focus of promoting like our friends' bands.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, guess that's what the DIY spirit's all about.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've done a whole bunch for us. They're great people.
How'd you guys get involved with that? How'd you get in touch with them?
That Mayflower was really like my personal introduction to like DIY music.
Pretty good.
Our close friend Phil McGarry joined this band called On Your Marks when I was like a sophomore in college, and like I started going to like shows with Phil. I remember I saw like A Will Away, Save Face, On Your Marks, Crosstown Train, and like North Runner at a cupcake shop in like Nyack, New York when I was in college, and like there was like mad people there. Yeah, like really, really cool. And then like we hung out with all the bands like at Ramapo after, and I was just like, this is so cool. And like we wanted to be on Mayflower like so bad for so long. And I remember when we recorded our self-titled, we sent it to them, and they said no because there were too many bands that like on their roster that had stuff coming out, and then like half the bands broke up. It hurt me too, but I remember
when they said no the first time, I was like,
I spent
super
so
bummed
long.
out.
Tyler Pavanda from Save Face called me to like officially like apologize that like it wasn't that they didn't want us. It was that if they wanted to do like a good job promoting our release, they would be asking us to wait like a year to put it out, which they knew like we weren't gonna do. and then basically what happened was like
It wasn't us, it was them.
it wasn't us, it was them.
Right.
And so then like On Your Marks, Crosstown Train, and North Runner all broke up at like the same time, and they were like, hey, JK, like, want to be on the roster. So we ended up like working with them right around the same time that like our self-titled VP came out in like 2016.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's definitely quieted down a little bit recently. You know, everyone's got adult things they got to deal with. But
Have a good season, dropping a new album soon.
yeah,
It's on Friday, right?
the world doesn't know that yet, though.
Well, that's why I said soon.
Yep.
Don't worry, we can keep that part.
No,
out
I'm totally. I mean, they've put out like 3 singles. Like
I
people
didn't spoil
yeah,
anything.
yeah,
It's
no, I
not
know. I'm
groundbreaking
kidding.
information.
They're probably announcing sometime soon. I'm messing with you, Kyle.
I'll bet.
Also, happy birthday, Kyle. I
Yeah,
forgot to
today
tell
is
you
Kyle's
that.
birthday.
It's not. Okay.
Oh.
That's been a running gag. Since before I was in the band, it's apparently always my birthday all the time. Literally any time that
Because you act like it.
I don't know what that means. I act like it's
Real-
my birthday.
Real quick, like note, there was one time where this was like years ago where like we were at a house party and I like went around. I was like pretty intoxicated and I went around and I was gonna be like, yo, like midnight, we're singing happy birthday to Kyle. Like we're gonna make it a big deal. And like everybody shouted happy birthday to Kyle at midnight. And it to this day was like the funniest shit I've ever seen. I love him,
Dude,
back,
some-
Kyle.
It was
There have
really
been people-
uncomfortable and I hated it.
There have been people who have gotten genuinely upset that we've
Why?
gotten them into birthday mode, like thinking that, oh, this is birthday night, it's going to be really fun. And then when they find out we're fucking with them and it's not
Yep.
Kyle's birthday, it ruins the night.
They get mad at me. They're like, why would you lie about your birthday? I'm like, I never once said it was my birthday.
All right, well, let's set the record straight. When is your birthday?
October 14th.
All right.
We'll bleep
So
that.
you hear. So other than Kyle's birthday, is there anything anything that we missed you guys want the world to know about?
My birthday is on July 20th.
Oh, sweet. Just in time for the
Nobody
show.
asked for it.
What do we have to tell people? Yeah, our plans are pretty up in the air. Like pretty much everything between when the pandemic started and like, yeah, Zach's got muscles. That's another thing to
I
point
saw
out.
that.
Yeah, that's
Pretty much all of our plans, like between like, you know, late February, mid-March were canceled. We are going to the studio the first week of June, and then we have like a few shows planned for this summer, including the Hodera show on July 17th at Asbury Park Brewery with a boy named John that we're hoping is not canceled. We're optimistic. And we have another show for July that is not announced yet that I don't really know if it's going to happen because it's like we would be supporting touring bands, and I'm not really sure how much bands are going to be touring this summer given the pandemic. But yeah, that's pretty much it. We're really just focusing on like writing independently as much as possible right now, trying to stay productive. Anybody else got anything?
No, you nailed it. Always on the
Yeah,
ball.
Band Dad killing it.
And that.
Thanks, Dad.
And
They don't call me the Hammer for no reason, right?
I don't think
Nope.
anybody calls you that.
I don't call you
I
that.
call myself that. That's my contact name in my phone.
For yourself? You have your own phone number in your contacts?
You know how you can have Siri like call you stuff? Like, hey Siri, call me this. My name
calls
in my
you
phone
the
is the Hammer.
the hammer. The hammer.
I'm not even touching that one.
Yeah, we can
What?
cut that out in post. How about that?
Yeah. With that being said, thank you for joining me, guys.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you for doing this. Thank you.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun, and
Me too.
you guys are. I'm so glad that I stumbled upon you, and I look forward to meeting you all in person at someday,
Please.
and I can't
Yeah.
wait to hear the new record. The EP is incredible, and
Thank
I
you.
am a
Thank
fan
you.
of Carcinogen. So, you want to tell everyone where they can find you, social media, and where they can get the record and all that?
Yes. At Halogens NJ is our handle for Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, etc. We are doing a little merch sale right now. We're running kind of low, but if you want to check halogensnj.bandcamp.com, got some stuff. We'll ship it out to you, nice and fresh. And yeah, we're on Spotify, Apple Music, etc. Halogens. Happy Hour is our newest release. Got Carcinogens on the Brace Cove Records Bandcamp. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Look out for LP1
Unreal.
coming eventually.
George, do you have that like written out in front of you?
Yeah, it's
No, dude, I'm like a
absolutely
YouTuber.
unreal. That
Don't
you
forget
can
to
do
like and subscribe down there.
that. Yeah. Comment down below
Drop
if
a
that's true.
comment down in the box below, and don't forget to hit that bell button.
Like,
Absolutely.
subscribe, the bell, turn on notifications.
And of course, when I will have links to all of that stuff on the Beyond the Static site.
Sweet.
So thanks again, guys. I really appreciate you joining me this evening.
I appreciate you as
Thank
well.
you.
Thank you.
Very much, Swain.
It was nice talking.